all of a sudden, we kind of know what happened in the Iswaran case even when the trial is not held yet. And for some reason, Iswaran wants something. So here's what happened in case you are So, suddenly on 8 May 2024, this headline started appearing. Almost Iswaran trial has started. Well, no You see, by now, you should know that he's accused of receiving gifts from two people. The first is Ong Bing Seng, whereby Iswaran was handed the charges on 18 January. The second is Lam Kok Seng, whereby Iswaran was handed the charges on 25th March. Okay, so like that, how is the trial going to be like? It turns out that initially, the tentative dates for the first charges, you know the one for Ong Bing Seng's case, were set in August and September. Then, it turned out that the prosecutor, which is like the government's lawyer that bring criminal charges to people, had wanted to use their August and September tentative trial dates for the second charges instead. So, Iswaran filed an application, not opposed to that, but to have both the trials of the Ong Bing Seng's gift and Lam Kok Seng's gift together. This is why there is a criminal motion hearing in the High Court on 8 May to determine if that should be the case or not. So, Iswaran's team suggested that the prosecutor had wanted separate trials so that they can get a preview of the defense. See what kind of defense Iswaran has in the first trial first. They then argue that all the charges are the same and there are even charges that haven't been seen before once. In addition, Iswaran's state of mind was the same for both sets of charges, whereby he did not suspect that the gifts were offered as a and that he was dealing with very, very dear and close friends. Now, if that is confusing, let me simplify in a way that you can relate. Basically, it's Ong Bing Seng and Lam Kok Seng were friend-zoned by Iswaran. Says always kena friendzone. Yeah, this is why all of a sudden we know why the gifts were given and received. Nevertheless, Iswaran is aware of the code of conduct for ministers. Now, according to the there are separate trials for them because the legal criteria for a joint trial have not been met, and also this is a common practice. They also say that there was no factual connection between the two sets of charges, which are independent of each other and involve separate dealings. So in English terms, it's because they are different and having consecutive trials is common. Now, there are also some arguments about other things. Like how Iswaran team continue to argue that the prosecutor wanting a preview, the prosecutor defending their positions, etc. After all, it's a full day hearing. Eventually, Iswaran wins the bid to have just one trial instead. Because anyone who has the power to friendzone others always kong bilang. I told you how many times don't use ChatGPT to write the script. So what Iswaran wins? Firstly, the judge think that whether the trial is a joint one or separate ones isn't determined just by the prosecutor. Secondly, the charges for both sets of charges were legally identical, and Iswaran's state of mind across both sets was also materially similar. So going back to using examples that you can relate, it's like Naomi Tang. She friendzoned me and also friendzoned Sang, taking gift and dinners from both of us. If we want to charge Naomi Tang, we should charge her in full. I'm actually using examples that I can relate. Now, to know why Iswaran can't take any gifts, you must watch this easy to understand video. And thank you for wasting 3 minutes of your time with me.